Welcome back to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. For all of my regular listeners, those of you who tune into the podcast audio alone, we might not be having today our channeled guidance messages, but we're going to have a gist of it here. So I'm integrating it all, and then I'll catch you up on what's going on for those of you who are following the waves of the 5D frequency. And if you're new to YouTube and you don't follow IHP on the audio, don't worry about everything I just said. It's for my regular listeners who at this point they're like, okay, we're just going to head on over to YouTube because she's kind of I'm doing all. I told you we would have a calendar. Just be patient with me. I need to get that one written out for myself too. Okay, so be yourself. Show yourself. Be yourself, not Elsa Journey. When people don't own what is the mind, heart, body, and self of their self, now I know why they need someone like me and a content creator like me. And not just me, anybody who's an actually empowered, emotionally, mentally, and physically speaking human being, not just an expert, because the experts, thank you so much. I get to be here thanks to the actual experts, and then I get to make fun of the ones who aren't. But they're experts too, because, God, the benevolence of God is that those who won't make it over the hump because they choose not to do mindfulness, living, and loving, and I'm being very serious right now, and I do know about all the suffering in the world, and unlike the Dalai Lama who needed to perform, no, he wasn't performing. He actually enjoys being able to be non-reactive. If somebody goes up to me, how dare you smile in the face of all this suffering? And I'm like, wow, he didn't get cultured on who the Dalai Lama is. So I love to bring to you the 5-year-old version. Basically, I'm a child here, eternal child, and oh yes, anima mundi. So consciousness, pure consciousness. Nobody said it was going to be any type of, what is it called? Anybody who's looking at a book and judging it by its cover, well, that's called shallow. Also called a lot of people that I know, and it's all Cusco. Oh, I also was a teenager once, and I learned how to notice that all or nothing thinking are ignorant human beings who also are rigid. Oh, and they're not just human beings. They're also like that fancy woman and man in a suit. Yeah, they're armored and shut. They don't have an eternal child because they're not fun to be around. Actually, their little prickly prick is not even manipulate. So when you're yourself like this, you hear people and you're like, wow, this is called emotional, mental, and physical intelligence. It's because I'm not stupid enough to have my biases, my charges, and I said stupid, ruling me because I have what is called mindfully aware of my heart. Oh, my 1-year-old, my 3-year-old, all my child parts, they're asleep. So here's the thing. When you objectify your entire existence and talk about yourself as if you need rewiring or as if you need to excel, that's where you're applying for a job application, aren't you? Think what it's called is, the evolutionary psychologist explained it to me way back when, one with animals. If we'd get kicked out of the herd, we'd be afraid of animals. I'm lucky because I have a twin, so I have never known one day of my 44 years of life of aloneness. Is like this automatic thing. It doesn't matter how many times you come tell me I'm alone, I will not feel, and I feel first. That's why people say I'm stupid, and that's why I know that I'm not stupid, because you feel first and then you talk. And when I know how to work with my heart, that's why this is how we do it. So people need me. No, they don't need me. They can choose me. I love to be an option. It's called a bonus. As a content creator, you get to have fun and laugh with me. As a person, if you're ever going to choose to do mentorship with me, well, you should know something. I won't drill you down. That's disrespectful, but I definitely will hold you accountable. And if I see any child parts coming out of the woodwork, I'm going to say, okay, let's talk about this. Oh, and if there's any consciousness or other barriers, I'm going to say, we want therapists now, not tomorrow, and the good ones, because you have some stuff that is really serious. So when I see people, again, objectifying their entire experience or just breaking it down to like only one thing, I'm like, hey, Dr. Daniel Siegel, that word, what was it? Consiliency. And the way he explains it is, let's say you have an elephant, but you're so fucking close to that foot, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. There you go. So I've met a lot of people throughout the years. I didn't realize how easy it was for me to be myself because of, hey, Robert, what's up? Sapolsky, I'm determined. Thanks, Robert. So yeah, I have a twin. And then I have Maria's temperament, which Dr. Daniel Siegel made clear. Twins, identical twins, they don't have the same temperament. I'll get my twin again online, and you'll notice how we have complete different temperaments. That's also explainable by sciences, but please do remember, I come with Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, faith, and I'm a mystic. And shaman, you name it, you bring it all in, because that's what happens when you know anima mundi. Oh, it's beautiful. So I won't be talking too much about our mystic stuff because that's for our tier levels once we have our mystic community, because there's a lot of show yourself else a journey people. I don't want to do that. That's very not only disrespectful to that, which is the beautiful again relationship. It's about a lot more than just that. People pretend that they know themselves, and I don't like liars. And I have a really big challenge with those who want to tag along, but they're lost boys, lost girls looking for Peter Pan. I'm not Peter Pan. I'm not Wendy. My name's Maria, and I'm very proud to present. What's your name? Thank you so much. So here's where, when you are in oneness with consciousness, it's because you chose love, not fear. And it's because you chose to be yourself. For real, not pretend. So people who pretend, I know, thank you, Mom, how to, and God, be humble and to shut the fuck up and leave it alone. Oh, and it's from here because I have no intention of telling their eternal child anything, because as a teenager I learned that they don't want their eternal child to come to life. They will defend and protect every single person who's shaming them, including fancy men and women in suits who are fear-mongering assholes, quote unquote, who, yes, thank you God for being benevolent, the ones who will not achieve mental, emotional, or physical intelligence. I have no reason to point them out, because you know what happens when you got mustard on your chin? What was it, Dr. Daniel Fox? They're unaware. Yeah, I noticed, like my facade friends. So when people are not aware of what they really, really did, I learned about the whole repenting from sin thing, but not in the medieval times way. It's in the truth of pure consciousness way. So I'm going to give it to you in my religious course, where we learn about Christianity. And we learn there's only two things you need to do to be a Christian. And then everybody who wants to keep on saying that all of those other institutions, they're above, no. It's called an umbrella for a reason. It's like polyamory. We're not all polygamists. So anybody who speaks to me, I ignore it, because I say, you're apparently thinking you're more enlightened on the subject matter of religions than a professor that I learned from. You might be, you might not be, but then again, I am a Christian. And I did learn from catechism, and nobody told me out to be a monster or that God was a monster, except for the ones who had monsters at home and who are continuing to be monstrous. I mean, they are just monsters all over the place. In fact, they're toxic masculines and toxic feminines, all of them. And you'll see them conducting themselves with what you wear and how you conduct. Make sure, good boy, good girl, make sure that you're proud to be whatever you're wearing. It's very clear when you have rigidity. It's called adaptive child parts. They don't know healthy self-worth. No, they allow themselves to be whipped into shape, and it's really hard to do love. It's like, no, that's not what love is at all. Not for the eternal child who's a healthy human being inside here. Oh, it's not here. Here doesn't have anything to do with in here. It's only here. So when you know how to be yourself, it's because here is clear. What others say about me doesn't matter one little bit. Not even a little bit. You can ask my primary caregiver, the one who raised me, how she let me be a 3-year-old. And then you can ask her about how I handled my biological father, as he's confusing my name with my twin sister. That's what it means to be a differentiated self. Thanks, Dr. Dan. So when you don't break, because, why would I break? I didn't do anything wrong. Integrity. I'm Maria. What do you want? You don't like me? Oh, I didn't realize we had to like all people, which is why when a 50-year-old man says, I'm not decent enough to be saluted, and you're a 44-year-old woman, and you're like, wow, I'm attachment trauma informed, then he's not going to go to therapy, and he thinks he taught me a lesson in decency and common courtesy, and I didn't learn shit except for I have a fun story. And when people say, you could be a little bit more flexible, but you have healthy boundaries, you're like, yeah, you know what? Thanks so much for your opinion. I think I'm going to go hang out with the ones who know how to have a good time. Emotional, mentally, physically intelligent people don't tell each other what to do. We don't use our past. We don't use our nervous system. We don't break ourselves down into needing rewiring and a bunch of other shit. No, in fact, that's exactly why I see a bunch of pretenders out there. And whatever story I was about to say, I forgot it. So when you do know how to believe in yourself, it's because you know how to be yourself. I've had this since I was a kid, and that's why Robert's supposed to come on in. Determined. I could use sciences. I can also use God and Jesus and Holy Spirit, because it was really simple for me to hear. Don't play God, be humble. Your brothers and sisters are made the way I want them to be made, and then finding out that you're not yourself at all, as long as you have any trauma that you're projecting around, and then watching people call humans pieces of shit. And I'm thinking, what was it? The evolutionary psychologist. So yes, when you'd get cut out of the herd. So whenever I'm seeing a performer, I know who they are and who they follow. And they look really good in their suits. Oh yeah, but inside here, yeah, that's where I'm going to find out, the repenting for sins thing. Now I remember. See, I keep on. This is how I do it. So one, we're going to read this. Believe in yourself. I didn't need any clairs to know how to continue being what Jesus, God, everything that I learned share the floor, be nice, and oh, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. And then a man will harass me the entire evening. I just don't feel harassed because his nervous system was not in sympathetic, and he's not dangerous. He's just a low self-esteem, manipulative, desperate human being. That doesn't make him aggressive. No, toxic masculines, yes, and those I keep to try watching an eye out because they pretend they pretend really good, like Christian men or Christian women. Yeah, that's the sad part. I heard a story of a woman. She says, I made my platform on trophy wife. And I'm thinking, well, that's number one. And then I see men telling us on screen, a psychology therapist, human being, how he will dump a woman if she had better sex with somebody else, because how dare she not have better. And I'm like, wow, is this a job interview? I'm still waiting for the real people, real boy, real girl, real day. So when you don't own yourself, you got a bunch of pretenders, and they're all there thinking they know how to be alive. And I'm thinking they don't know anything about their at all. They didn't go to therapy though. Hey, Patrick Tiahan, what's up? Yeah, I know the cowards too. They're all over the place with codependent type relationships, thinking they know what love is. It's hard work. It's not hard work if you know how to love yourself first. Otherwise, you're like Grease. I didn't look up to that at all. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And anybody who would want me to change, you don't even know what the fuck love is. And why would I even be with you? What is this? Job performance? Again, I don't love you because you gave me something. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have healthy self-worth. I'm empowered. I'm not afraid of losing my spot. Oh, I have a twin. So I'm lucky because I don't have that mammalian thing of I'm all alone out in the fort. I really don't. You can't get rid of my implicit memory from the 7th month. And actually, they separated us because we got pre-med and then we got into incubators. And I bet you anything that I was really grumpy because they took me away from the one life that was near me since the beginning of my days in the womb. And where'd she go? Where is it? So that's the beauty of being determined. Thanks, Robert Sapolsky. And then with God, like I said, I learned we're made exactly how we're supposed to be made, but you won't know who you are until you get all of your mind, body, heart, and self back online. The repenting for sins things is a very clear thing when you have a relationship with your 0-1-year-old and you breathe and your 3-year-old, and then you don't have any shame. And of course I'm imperfect. I'm sorry that I hurt that man's feeling. Am I not decent enough? But I didn't really hurt that man's feelings. It's his projection from his own low self-esteem. He's manipulative and desperate. To me, he means nothing except for a humorous story. To him, he thinks he taught me a lesson because that's what lack of self-awareness means, and I don't give a shit. Because that's what integrity means. I also am not going to baby him. I'm not his therapist, and I'm not going to struggle to try and get somebody who doesn't want their true self to come forth. No, God is benevolent. Anybody who doesn't want to reach emotional, mental, or physical intelligence, they got the assholes. They look really great, and they keep on applying for jobs for each other and then making sure they fit the bill. Yeah, so anytime I meet a box, I know who they are. I'm going to learn what their box is. Whatever they box me up in is going to be fine because they don't really know who I am. But that's okay because the ones who do, they know my heart. So when you repent for something, like when you hurt someone's feelings, you know how it works. As a child, I want to hug you. That's it. I have a twin. I just want to hug. When I got disowned, my disowning is that we play life differently. We love each other to death. That's what it means to be a person who can trust people. And that's beautiful. And I love bringing to you how to be yourself with your eternal child. If you want, you don't have to. Again, it's a bonus to be mindfully living and loving. The rest of the people, I did EMDR, child parts work, and somatics, but now I don't want to do anything else. I want life now. And there you go. So again, little choo-choo train made it. Will you? Depends. If you want to do it, you can. If you don't, you won't. And at the end of the day, we're all happy. Why? Because believe in yourself to the depths of your being. Nourish the talents your spirit is freeing. Know in your heart when the going gets slow that your faith in yourself will continue to grow. Don't forfeit ambition, for when others may doubt, it is your life to live. You must live it throughout. Learn from your errors. Don't dwell in the past. Never withdraw from a world that is vast. Believe in yourself. Find the best that is you. Let your spirit prevail. Steer a course that is true. This is by Bruce B. Wilmer. And I was a teenager, and see this why determined. As he points out, there's a lot of things that we will have that will lead us somewhere. And that's why I know that those of you here who want to do mindfulness living and loving will be back again, and who are inspiring your own higher human potential, emotional, mental, physical intelligence. We don't project our past trust breaks or any of that. And actually, some of us don't have that because, God never gives you something that won't benefit you. And that's because when you do know Everything happens for a reason. Every action has a reaction, and everything that is meant to come your way, that's why blind faith. Lucifer never wins, ever. And it's not Lucifer. Please stop. Unresolved trauma. Anybody who is acting unkind, I know exactly where to send them. And anybody who is kind, I know where we're at. And it's not because we'll be seen as kind. Am I not decent enough to be saluted? No, it's called healthy boundaries. And unconditionally loving people don't make it a mission of ours to point out the fallacies of another human being, because that's really not nice. The minute that you notice that you've been an asshole, quote unquote, you're going to go and have an actual conversation, which my facade friend showed me how many people don't do that at all. I love my facade friend. It's thanks to him that I don't waste my time doing anything when I meet Cuscos. As people continue to pretend to be their self, it's a very sad day for a feminine, but I'm a feminine that's real. I don't capture masculines. I leave them to see if they ever figure out how to tap into their infinite higher human conscious potential. Some will, some won't, and they won't know any difference. It's the other thing about ego. It blinds you so that you don't have the capacity to notice every single step of the way how many times you've done something. You know, it's really sad, the hardened heart thing, because it's all built upon shame. Like that fancy man and woman in suit, the man gets really vicious at times. He's harboring a bunch of really sad stories for his own home. I mean, I heard one of his videos. I'm like, whoa, that's really messed up, because I know exactly where you've been determined. And every time you speak about women, you are supporting something that's toxic to the extent of the extent. And I know who comes to you, because I'm a mystic again, remember, but I'm also a nervous system, but I'm also a smart person. So I put it all together because I help people to be their self. And oh my gosh, it gets more and more fascinating when you're able to tap into pure consciousness and then be like, I feel so bad for you. But then again, you don't notice anything. And the people who are hearing you, they want to hear exactly what comes out of your mouth, like lack of imagination for evil. They like to hear that. They also like to hear why a man won't text back a woman apparently in 1 minute, because he'll feel contempt and disgust towards me after fucking me, and then shame. So masculines who are toxic will go and hear that human being and cheer him on. Oh, women that are toxic too. Not toxic because they're toxic. No, they're going to look like outstanding citizens. Yeah, their fancy suits make them look all amazing. Then we wonder why shit happens. Any smart person will know why. It's called unresolved trauma, and it's called being somebody who didn't have a safe environment. And so it's not something that you're like, oh no. So we don't have to demonize, romanticize. What's up? Michael Stone, a forensic criminologist. Every person that's in that evil scale, some of them don't end up in prison. They look like stand-up citizens. They think they are, because they don't notice that they don't have an open heart towards all, and that they use their biases, their past, all their shit, and they project it. So what we're going to get to do here at IHP is to be the ones who can stand in non-reactivity. The idiots think we have no emotion. No, we choose to leave alone the ones who won't make it into their heaven in the body, because, you know, again, the laws are there. So in the meantime, believe in yourself, believe in humanity, because there are plenty of us who are emotionally, mentally, and physically intelligent. Oh, and then there's another thing. I need to read this one, because this one is why I love you, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, all of it. You know, again, it's not hard to follow the truth when you're not so far into your ego that you're a blind individual. Plenty of people with cloaks, they're blind. In fact, there's an Italian saying, you don't judge or you don't know a monk by his cloth, because it's not what he's wearing that makes him into a man or a woman, or they of that which is faith, spirit, love. Okay, so anybody who is mindfully living and loving, we are all good. The 5D collective, nobody needs to do anything. We're chucking along just as expanding consciousness does. And that's why that Tao Tzu, I read it to you yesterday. 1 second, let me see to find it in case you didn't tune in to the episode from yesterday. It was harnessing love, and therefore being able to bring forth pure consciousness. And I'll probably touch upon that again. There's a lot of notes that I have. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. There's your adaptive child parts. Any person who doesn't go to Terry Real or Patrick Tiahan to get their self integrated and their whole self, sense of self. If you don't own your mind, your body, your heart, or yourself, you don't own you, which is why the fancy woman and man in suit are not people I look up to at all. The soft and supple will prevail. Lao Tzu. Oh, what you also learn about integration of brain and restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating is it's your health. So please, you're not rewiring yourself. You're not just a nervous system. Please don't think of your brain or mind or you as broken in the sense of brokenness. No, you are a person who is made of child parts. When you will feel your 1 year old and you will breathe in, and when you can actually have an honest interaction with people, it's beautiful. And so when your heart is full of love, no matter what, here's how I'm going to put it to you. If somebody hurt you, even if they did whatever, but you're alive, you're breathing. They didn't hurt you. They didn't do anything that killed you. You'll know the Holy Spirit if you can know that I'll lift you up from the floor if I see you, because that is the right thing to do. Unless you have some physical weapon that endangers me physically, I will not actually leave you on the floor. And also, by the way, even if I wanted to remove God, I'm going to bring us back to our mammalian heritage. Out in the open with the bear, I don't choose the bear. I still choose a man because it's part of my species. So our body is smarter than the ego will ever be. Anyone who has a relationship with their body will know this, and anybody who's smart enough to know I'm a mammal, therefore, I will not ever go against my physical life. There's emotional, mental, and physical intelligence. In the absence of biases, no, I don't trust men at all. No, not even a little bit, but I also don't trust women at all, and I don't trust anyone at all, really, if I have to break it down, because, I mean, that sounds like a stupid person, because I don't know what your nervous system is capable of until I see you, which is also why a smart person actually notices things. There's one human being. I love this human being to death. They're not perfect in any way, shape, or I love a lot of people, though. Remember, I'm polyamory, please. So apparently I don't love anybody according to the ones who think that we don't. But I'm saying if I need to be honest, which I always am, there's one human being. If they say, okay, you have one person alone that you get to take to the island. Okay, I think I'll take them just because I saw them in action. Although I know there's a lot of kinks to work with, quote unquote. But yeah, I saw them in action. That gives me proof. Proof is when you see it, not when you hypothetically think of it. And then there's others that I think I would want to choose them, but I've seen their mixed messages. And their mixed messages is because they have child parts that they didn't own. So there's parts of themselves that they didn't own, and then there's things that took place, and they're not taking ownership of it. They're projecting it. So if Maria's on their right side today, it's because they're in a good mood. If the Maria's on their wrong side, it's because they're in a bad mood. And there they go. And there's your little flag. Man, woman, or they, might they be. And now I got an insecurely attached person who doesn't know how to be their self. Like my facade friend. Doesn't mean I love you any less. Now I know what you're made of, which means you're unreliable. Oh, I'm reliable enough for me. And I don't live out in the open with the animals. Again, you don't need a narrative to know that our world is full of people. Yes, and let's make a difference, shall we? So come on over to learn more about being yourself as an empowered person, to do mentorship and or masterclass and or spiritual retreats, and or when our tears are out, we're going to get practices. In the meantime, you also have universal love transmission sessions. That's Reiki with personal development exercises. There's a playlist. And thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, please, again, I say God is benevolent because not everybody wants to access emotional, mental, or physical intelligence. They continue to use, I'm rewiring myself, I'm only doing this, they're like on a jab application. As long as they don't understand, take ownership of all your child parts, uncharge them, which means get your brain integrated, your mind, and your entire inner world, and then you build healthy relationships so that you can completely uncharged, because trauma is relational. So as long as you don't take a leap of faith and begin to build a true heart to heart, there's nothing's going to change. You need to open your heart in order for it to actually learn how to love. And the people who don't, well, again, there's bountiful of them who think they do. It's hard work. To me, it's not hard work to keep a relationship. Hey, Eric, I got a tail. What do you want? You don't like it. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I leave now? No, you learn how not to even bother with any of that. You just notice what they... Unfortunately, again, dumb people, they don't notice that they give away everything. Smart ones, we begin noticing it since I know that Maria won't ever hide anything, which is why I don't try lying. And somebody says, I'm going to call you out. What are you calling me out on? Wait, let me think. How do I want to play this one? I don't know. Not sure. Maybe I can be the bitch today. Yeah, or the asshole. No, I don't like to do any of that. But again, people love to tell you who you are according to their experiences versus allow each other to be differentiated. Come on over and have fun. We'll be back with more. Again, please be kind, compassionate, and if you can't say something nice, cannot. Shh, say nothing. Take a bit of good advice. Shh, say nothing. Dun, dun, dun. And that's how it feels inside. So right here, if somebody ever hurt me, I won't be leaving them out to die. Ask my friend. he hurt my feelings, my facade friend. And then when I found out he didn't hear shit of what I said, I thank him, because now, ever since that moment, I know exactly how not to waste Maria's breath with everyone. Because all you need is one ego to show you the blindness. Like I said, when you truly feel all of you and the depths of you, and you're building a genuine relationship, you're going to want to have that free heart space. It's something we'll continue talking about later, but you'll feel it. Like for me, all of my relationships, they're free heart space. I just know where my friends and loved ones and all those people, they have shadow parts and stuff, is not my business, it's their business. So Maria doesn't hide, but they will paint a picture of me according to all their thoughts and all their beliefs and all their biases and everything. There you go. So you got a beautiful portfolio, and every time you're around them, you don't flip it like that. Please appeasers, they're my biggest pet peeve. I've learned how to leave it alone because really the lack of awareness is very clear when they don't bring to you a genuine conversation. Because see, an apology is not about you saying you're sorry. It's actually when you're aware. Like I said, my facade friend is a perfect example, and I have plenty others that are not self-aware, and they don't have the acknowledgement of the depth of what has taken place in moments that are completely like really, but you can't make them because you're making a big deal. Not a big deal. You're disregarding what you brought to the table and how it affected and da 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 da. But I'm not gonna have to present it, because once again, the level of depths and the level of how you experience each other depends on how much you've accepted of yourself. Maria has nothing that she's ashamed of. So that's why whenever somebody's like, I'm just thinking, oh, that must be a disowned part. It's not my disowned part. I'm having a good time. I didn't have anything to say about who you are, what you do, what you don't do. So characterological distinctions, they come through a tone. When you're casting a stone, I'll hear it from here, and then I'll notice it from here, but I won't cancel Maria out, because I can see, soothe, save, secure, because that's what it means to be a 0-1-year-old who's independent. I'm not trying to be around you so that you can do this. I just enjoy your company. And I'll notice if you do as well. And then, like I said, so it's really beautiful to build those true, genuine relationships. The more a person is, when the person is their whole self, you're going to know that, because they will completely bask in an open heart with you and rejoice of everything you're rejoicing, even if they don't agree with whatever it is, but it's from here. The same thing, if they're really sorry about something, there's going to be a open heart, complete there, you feel it, it's not the words, and then there's a consistent way that you build the communication. So it's something again that we do here as we build healthy self-worth relationships between each other, but also as a community that takes seriously healing trauma. We don't heal it for people, they're healing it, and they're taking ownership. So it's not just one thing, it's not just your nervous system, and you're not rewiring your brain, you're actually working with your humanness, you distancing yourself from your child parts and the emotions. Is why that Zen master doesn't know how to do mindfulness. It's not laundry, it's your child parts. You will feel them. I feel all of them. I was having an experience with one of them the other day. That's why this came up. So you'll know what they are, what they have to say, because sensations, images come up, affects, also meanings, behaviors. I mean, for the ones of us who are empowered, it's consistently equanimous and unconsciously loving. That's why pure consciousness. And then as a channeler, I mean, it's just amazing when I'm able to bring that to you too. So again, thank you for stopping by. We'll be back again later, maybe, or tomorrow, or in the next days. Like, share, and subscribe.